Hey guys, Mega Man Joe here. Today we're going to be looking at the PlayStation Plus games for March 2018. Bloodborne, Ratchet and Clank, Mighty Number 9. They're just going to be quick little reviews for people that may be interested in the PlayStation Plus games but don't want to waste time downloading them if they're going to hate it. So let's get into it. We'll start off with Bloodborne. This came out a few years ago as a PlayStation Plus exclusive. It's part of the Dark Souls series, so let's be honest, if you're into gaming even remotely, you probably already know what this is like. It's faster paced than the older Dark Souls games, although Dark Souls 3 very much took inspiration from this one, which came out between 2 and 3. There's less of a focus on blocking and more of a focus on dodging, so there's less in terms of options of how to fight, but you do have the trick weapons that basically have two forms that you can attack with. It's a really fun game. The level design is really fun, really good. Levels like intersect with each other, so you can be going one way and then there's a branching path and you follow it back to an earlier spot that leads to a door you couldn't open earlier, and now you've got a shortcut. It's really fun level design. It encourages exploration, but obviously the combat encourages caution and not running too fast into an area, because it's very, very easy to die. It's a difficult game, as Soulsborne games are known to be, but it's a good time if you've got the patience to learn how to play, essentially. It's quite long as well, especially if you're not very good at it, like I am. But it's a good time. I enjoy it. It's not a huge download, 27 gigabytes, I think. And it's just generally a good time. Next up, we'll talk about Ratchet and Clank. This one came out a few years ago, around the same time as the movie, and is thus based on the movie. And as a result, I'm not sure whether to call it a licensed game or not, because the movie's based on a game, but this is a game based on a movie. So is it a licensed game, or is it just a Ratchet and Clank game that's a remake of the original game? I don't know. Anyway, it's really, really pretty. It's very, very basic. Like, you will not be challenged here at all. It's insanely easy. The puzzles are simplistic and very repetitive. It's not that different from the old games. It's basically the same, but prettier. The levels feel a bit more open than they used to. And other than that, if you enjoyed the old Ratchet and Clank games, basically, you'll have a good time here. It's basically the same thing, but prettier. If you didn't, but you've got kids, congrats, you've got a free game for your kids, because they're going to love it. Other than that, can't really say much about it. It's basic, can get very repetitive very quickly. It's not much of a challenge. Kind of the exact opposite of Bloodborne. Two very, very different games this month. But it's still fun for de-stressing, or if you just want something mindless and easy. And like I say, it looks very pretty. And lastly, we have Mighty Number 9. As you might be able to tell from my username, I'm a big fan of Mega Man. So when Mighty Number 9 was announced, I was pretty excited, to say the least. I thought it sounded really cool. I was like, great, new Mega Man game, essentially. What? There's nothing I couldn't love about this. And then it came out. And all I can say is, if you like Mega Man, you'll hate this. If you don't like Mega Man, you'll hate this. If you like anything, you'll hate this. It's a dreadful game. It's literally... Oh, they spent years on this and took so much money. And it looks like a PS2 game. it's just... It's so basic. There's, like, half the things that were in Mega Man games, like sliding, charge beams... Admittedly, they weren't in the first Mega Man, but they were in the later ones, and they're not in this at all. You've literally got jump, shoot, move, dash thing, which, funnily enough, you have to use to kill enemies, because enemies don't just die when you shoot them, you have to shoot them and then dash through them. Which, yay. But the level design, I think, is where this game really gets let down, because it's counterintuitive. This bit, for example, jumping between cars, fine, fair enough. Chucking in enemies, fine, fair enough. Doing both at the same time, I'm giving you next to no time to react. And the fact that you have to shoot and dash through an enemy to get rid of it and not take damage, kind of counterintuitive. It's difficult, like a Mega Man game, but not for the same reasons as a Mega Man game. Whereas a Mega Man game is difficult because it's designed that way, but it's still fun. Mighty No. 9 is hard because the hitboxes are broken, and the level design is dreadful. So, in all honesty, save your hard drive space. 3 is far too much for this game. You don't want to give them the satisfaction.